the first season was a very condensed story, and I think they made it more difficult for the writers and the creators to even try to come up with a season 2 that makes sense. But if they're going to follow the same kind of blueprint, they're going to skip right to the next big character. It's probably going to be if season 2 gets approved, it's going to be the Chapter Black saga, and then season 3 is probably going to be the Three King saga. That's probably how they're going to do it, bro.
That's
Somehow,
going to be hard. To do Three
yeah.
Kings and to do it so fast.
That's what I'm saying. But they literally skipped the biggest arc of the series.
Yep.
So completely skipped the Dark Tournament. So like, I wouldn't put anything past them to continue to skip through the story if they're going to get approved for more seasons. What do you think? Where do you think they go next with the Yu Yu Hakusho? Do you think they're going to try to get a season 2? If so, what would you like to see, and what do you think they're going to do?
That's a great question. So, spoiler alert for anyone who watched Yu Yu Hakusho, these live action 5 episodes. At the very end, it has an end credit scene when it pans to younger Tagoro or elder Tagoro. He's stuck on the beach because in the show he gets punched by his younger brother, basically blasted into the sky and just punched because his brother was mad at him because he was talking too much. So they find him washed up on the beach, and birds are picking at him, and that's essentially the beginning of season 3 of Yu Yu Hakusho. Mm-hmm. But the way I feel is this: if they want to bring in Sensui, it's possible, but it's also going to be kind of weird because you have to bring in like other characters that it's going to be kind of hard to do as well. Now that you've cut out so much out of the show, and you just skipped ahead and skipped past the Dark Tournament, so it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. I mean, yeah, I know in that season you don't have demons in there as much. You really don't have any demons. It's pretty much all humans, and they're fighting psychics. So that part,
yeah.
What were you saying?
No, I was saying, yeah, that's a good point. I think I was agreeing with you, basically saying that's very doable because I think that when they were right after the Dark Tournament, when they were going against the psychics, like you said, when Genkai collected those guys to pin them up against Yusuke's team to see if their team is ready to fight something of the psychic nature rather than fighting demons. I think they can do that, and I think when they're in that house, the
House of Four Dimensions,
I think that can be really good, a really good focus if they. It just depends on how they do it. It just depends on they could just go straight into Sensui, but I just feel like that'd be a kind of a letdown, kind of like season 1, just going straight to Tagoro.
I thought of something too that they could add that like in the anime, how at the very end of the Dark Tournament, or how they Koima brings Genkai back to life. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be really dope if they did the season 3 and they basically have Genkai do the test like she does in the beginning of season 3 in the House of Four Dimensions, how she uses the psychics to test Yusuke and his team, and they bring her back to life because they don't know that, and the people who haven't watched the anime, they don't know that in the story. So it'd be like, oh, they brought her back to life, so it'd be a complete surprise to them.
Yeah, that would be good. That's a good idea.
Because honestly, that option for them to know that she's alive is taken out of the table, so they wouldn't know that it would be her pulling the strings for this whole deception. So that actually would kind of bring some fire to the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm. And I think that could be done in 5 episodes too. That part of the show could absolutely be done in 5 episodes. Like, I think that would make perfect sense. But that's not what they're going to do. Nope. They're probably going to go straight to Sensui, which is understandable. I think they can do the Sensui stuff. I think it'll take more than 5 episodes, and I think it would have to do. I would rather go through the sidekick stuff first, and
Yeah,
then go to Sensui the next season. So you get an understanding of what to expect from Sensui, because a lot of the people he's dealing with, I mean, a lot of his team are sidekicks or have weird powers that aren't actually demons. But yeah, they're gonna probably just get straight to the chapter black.
but you know what
Saga.
they have to end Chapter Black with?
What's that?
Yusuke is a demon. So how are they gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
They have
Mm-hmm.
to. So now they got to go to Demon World, man. Like it's just I don't know. They set it. They kind of shot themselves in the foot earlier on because you can't not have that aspect in the show. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not possible because it wouldn't make any sense. Because if you don't have that in the show, there's no way you could press forward.
Mm-hmm.
So
They don't. Yeah, the first season was a very condensed story, and I think they made it more difficult for the writers and the creators to even try to come up with a season 2 that makes sense. But if they're going to follow the same kind of blueprint, they're going to skip right to the next big character. It's probably going to be, if season 2 gets approved, it's going to be the Chapter Black saga, and then
yeah,
season 3 is probably going to be the Three King saga. That's probably how they're going to do it, bro.
that's gonna
Somehow,
be
like,
hard to do Three
yeah.
Kings and to do it so
Hmm.
fast.
That's what I'm saying. But they literally skipped the biggest arc of the series.
Yep. Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
completely skipped the Dark Tournament. So like, I don't, I wouldn't put anything past them to skip, just continue to skip through the story if they're going to get approved for more seasons. I think
Low key.
so.
No, no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think they went into it with, we might not get it approved for season 2. So let's put all our chips on the table.
Yeah.
So
All I was gonna say is low key. They skipped the best arc of the show.
what's that?
The Dark Tournament arc's the best arc of the show.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I mean, I don't.
There's
You could debate it, but I mean, low key, you really can't.
there are some people that really like the Chapter Black saga.
Yeah,
I really enjoy. I think the Dark Tournament is still my favorite, but I do think the Chapter Black is. I wouldn't. If someone said they prefer Chapter Black, I would understand. But I think the peak of the anime was basically at the end of the Dark Tournament.
Dark
It's kind of
Tournament.
like,
Yeah.
I compared it to Dragon Ball Z when Gohan defeated Cell. That was kind of the peak of Dragon Ball Z. That this whole story was built up to that. That, like, you're going through Gohan, as a child, showing how he can keep up with everybody, how powerful he has this dormant power, and it
Yeah.
finally comes to light. Gets Cell. I compare that to the Dark Tournament where Yusuke, that's peak. Yusuke finally. This whole show has been building up to this moment. And him
And
defeat
another
Tagoro.
thing is this. Another thing is the Dark Tournament is seen as pretty much the best tournament arc in all the tournament arcs the anime can
Mm-hmm.
offer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and because it doesn't just focus on the fighting. It focuses on the plot. It focuses on character development. It focuses on a lot of the story and everything that surrounds the story. Like you
Mm-hmm.
go into Goro and his past with Genkai. You go on to Sakyo's past. Even in the manga, I think that Kuwabara's sister and Sakio, they have something in between them, and there's a lot more that happens in the story as far as like the Dark Tournament. Yusuke makes
Mm-hmm.
friends, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for the fact that they skipped it, it it just really, you pulled a lot. You had the tools, and you pulled from the wrong resources that you needed to make the show great, and you messed
Yeah.
up, in my opinion.
I
But
I would compare it
I'm just a
to
guy.
I would compare it to if they made a Dragon Ball Z movie and just skipped to Namek. Man, you
Yeah,
don't know what the hell happened before. You know how we got here, what a Saiyan is, what is a Super Saiyan. We just skipped to Goku versus Frieza just to get there, and rather than focusing on how they got there. And I think that's kind of what they did with the live action of Yu Yu Hakusho. They didn't really show you how or what led to Tagoro being who Tagoro is. They kind of talked about it for like 30 seconds, with a flashback, but it's kind of like it was no build up to it. It was like, oh, you're a bad guy. I just got this new power. I just trained with Genkai and I just got this new power and I'm going to beat you. That is literally what happened. Like, where
in
the
the
anime
first
is completely
in
different.
the first season, him and Tagoro, Kuwabara Tagoro, Kuwabara EA. Sorry, holy shit, I'm fucking this up.
Mm-hmm.
Kuwabara and Yusuke fight Elder Tagoro and Younger Tagoro, and they beat him. And then in the beginning of season 2, they magically come back to life, but even though they were faking their deaths the whole time, that's what that's where the build-up starts. That's where the foundation of that build-up starts. The fight between Tagoro and Yusuke. But like in the show, in the live action, there is no build-up. So there's really no suspense. There's really no, there's nothing that really climaxes. It's just they fought, they died.
That's
That's it.
pretty much it, bro. That's it. In the show, if you like, when if you say like you're watching an anime for the first time and you see Yusuke beat a girl, it's okay. You're not thinking nothing of it after that until you see his ass come back and how scared Yusuke is. And he's terrified. Like, what the fuck? It took us everything to beat this dude, and he's still here. It took everything they had. Kuwabara and Yusuke had everything they had up to that point to defeat Toguro, and they really didn't beat him. That's scary, like when coming back season 2. Excuse me. And like, dude, what the fuck? We gave it everything we had, and this dude's still here.